Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. My name is Manuel, welcoming you back to CatersGraphix. Today we'll be learning another important tool in the Photoshop for beginners, which is the text tool. So we'll be learning the function of this tool and the characters surrounding it. So let's dive into it without wasting much time. So this is the text tool, and if you right click on this text tool, you will get a bunch of options to choose from. This is a horizontal type tool, which means you can type horizontally. Okay, you can type this way. That's what it means. Okay, so we delete that. The second is the vertical typing, which means you can type vertically. Okay, Control A. Very good, very good. So with that being understood, this one is a vertical type mask. I don't think this is important. I don't even know where on earth where they brought this from, because when you are, it simply means when you are done typing, it masks the Control A. It masks the text. This doesn't show like the text is. You see what happens here? Then you will need to fill in this text with different colors as you wish. See what's happening here? Which I don't think is necessary. It's not necessary at all. Okay, very good. So with that being understood about the text tool, we can use it to type a word now. So I will explain what more other function it holds. Very good. So let's type great. So you can use the move tool to move the text around, but if you don't have time going to this aspect, you want to still be on the text mode, you can drag from outside the text area. Okay, if you drag from outside the text area, it means you can move around while you are still in the text mode. But if you try to drag within here, it wouldn't be possible. It will only assign to a specific area to type. So I will have to show us one or two ways to find this tool, to bring this tool to your tool panel. Okay, let's assume you don't have this tool at all. Okay, you only have the layer panel. And remember, for this benefit, we are using the typography format for Photoshop, not essential. See, there is big difference between these both, especially if you are running the latest version of Photoshop. So I'm using typography, where I have this arrangement made. I will show you on how to make this arrangement on later video. So in case you don't have the character panel to arrange your text the way you want it to be, go to Window. Okay, then click on character. If you click on character, it pops up. For instance, if you don't have the character here, maybe it comes as an option like this. What you can do, drag on the top, not here. I didn't say drag here, I said drag on the top here, where you see the X and the arrow key aligns. Drag from the top there, then drag it till you see this line here. Drag it into this panel, then drag it up till you see this line here, then leave it. It applies there. So we have the tool here. The importance of this tool is for you to align your text the way you want it to be. So for instance, we have a text here, and we want this text to be closer to each other. You use this stretch tool, tracking tool, to bring it closer. Okay, so you want it to be far from each other, use this to stretch it further than it is. Okay, I'll show you the importance of this in the later video I'll be making. So that is one. So the next is this. For instance, we typed great gold. This tool over here, you use it to stretch, set the leading, use it to stretch between text, whether I want it to be very close to the text. I'm talking about vertical now, not horizontal. You see, you can use it and stretch a text or words, or send them away, further away from the others vertically. Okay, but you want to do this horizontally to the both, you can still do it with this tool over here. Very good. So see the importance of this tool, this particular tool, this one now. For instance, we have two words like this, but they are not aligned equally. Yes, it is true we can use the align button to do this by clicking this, but see what happens. It is not still aligned. There is still enough space left here and enough space left here. So if for instance you want to make a text to be aligned correctly with the same age, okay, with the same edges to this block slide, it is very possible to do that. So what you do, you increase the size of this text to whatever you want it to be. Okay, you can even decrease the width. Then what you do, you select only this one. You're not selecting the two of them now. Okay, you select only this, then you can stretch it to meet up with this. Okay, remember, by so doing, you must have selected this layer. Click this button to align them together to be in the same. So we have the same different words of different size, but still in the same age ratio. We still have them in the same, and it makes your work look a little bit neat and used for titles and so on. So with that being understood, we understand the function of this both. We are going to understand the main source of the text we are using. Okay, if you see up here, if you don't want to use this, see up here, you will see the whole samples of your texts. So here is where you choose your text from, the kind of text you want to work with. So for instance, we select this. To select every text you want, if you don't want to drag from this edge up here, select every text. Once you click any part of it, click on Ctrl A, it will select all of it. Okay, so we select all of it. If you select only this, you can only change this text only, the text format only. But if we are selecting the both, we'll be able to change the two of it at the same time. Okay, so this is the place where you select your text. With that being understood, you can also favorite a particular text. You can favorite a particular text by clicking on the star button. If you favorite it, once you come into this place, you will see it in this top favorite layer. It won't go down anymore. So with that being understood, this is another format you will need to understand. Okay, so I'll use a tool that supports this. Okay, very good. So we have the Franklin Gothic Heavy. You can come over here to select which sample you would like to work with. That select this and you can come and make it italic. Okay, so that is how to make a text italic in case you want to do that. But what if in case a text doesn't have an italic format like this? Watch me, this is how you make it italic. Select on the direct move tool, then hold on your shift key button, not shift key button, I'm sorry. Hold on your control key button. Hold on control key button, then select, hold on the edge. Here where you see the box over here, then you can drag it to the end. You see? So you can drag it to the other edge. So with this format, you can generate an italic format of text if the text doesn't have an italic format. So you want to go back to what you have done before, click on Ctrl Z. That's a shortcut to go back to what you are doing before, and to come further to what you are doing, you click Ctrl Shift Z. Okay, if you are using a later version of Photoshop, very good. So go back to what we have before. So that is it for these two tools, this and this. Another one I want you to take cognizance of is the size tool. This size tool, you can use it to increase the size of your text to whatever you want it to be. Another trick on this, show you another trick on how to use this size tool. Just navigate to the text. You see the arms and the arrow right and left. With this you can increase it, with this you can decrease it to whatever size you want. Okay, very simple. With that being understand, we go to the shape tool. This is not very necessary for now. You can make the shape very strong or so, and I don't think it's very necessary. Anyway, it's also necessary. So this is the color tool, which you can use to change the color of your text to whatever color you want it to be. You can also select a single word letter in a text and change it to whatever color you want it to be or to bear. Okay, so with that being understood, we move over to the next panel, which is the character panel. I show you how to find this character panel. So with what we learned before, you understand that this is where you select your text from, and this is the regular where you select the format, whether it's italic, regular, or a bold. So very good. So this is the text size. Actually, this is the text size, whatever size you want it, and the same format applies to this. You can use the same trick I taught you in the previous one to do the same thing. Okay, so also this is how to raise it, but before you use this tool to raise, bring text closer, you must have to select two different texts that are in two different words that are in a single vertical shape. Okay, so you can separate them, because if you are selecting only one and you want to separate that, nothing happens. Very good. So you can only do this with this other tool to space it to whatever shape you want. Very good. These other ones, I don't think they are very necessary, because this, you can use this to stretch the text to be longer than it is. You can also use this other one to stretch it to be wider than it is. I don't see the necessity for that. So very good. You can play around with the rest of them. You can also pick your color from here if you wish to, or here is where I will talk about this later anyway. So coming down to the next diverse tools, these tools over here are a bunch of important tools I would like you to take cognizance of. You can use this to bold a particular word. I unbold, I bold. Watch the text, what happens. I unbold. So you can also use this to force italic on a text that doesn't have italic, like what I showed you in the previous one. But if you want to extend it, you can use what I showed you in that previous lineup. So you can use it to bold the text, you can use it to make it smaller. For instance, this is already bolded. You can use it to reduce the boldness. See, you can see this G very clearly now. So you don't use this tool on text that are already bold, because to make a mess of your word. For instance, see what we have here as G. See what we have as original without the bold. So with this now, let me show you what function this holds. For instance, I wrote with small letter in the, anyway, we are not going to know with this, we use cloud. Okay, so see it, I wrote with small letter in some of these, and I want to make everything capital letter without going to retype my letters again. You can just come here and click on capital, it makes everything capital. Click on small, it makes it as it is again. Okay, so this one you can use it to make text capital but still maintaining its size. See what happens between this, it takes the size higher, but what happens between this, it maintain the same size. Okay, so that is it for that. And these other ones you can learn further. For instance, you want to do something like 56th anniversary TH. Okay, you select only this TH and you click on this, it makes it what you want it to be. You can also make that applicable to become a down text. That's so you can just play around with stuffs you have here. I don't think there is much thing to talk about in this text format. So that's exactly or practically how to use the text tool, and we are going to do a little practical of the power of text tool, so we can use it in my subsequent tutorial thumbnails. So watch me as I do this.